Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I want to share with you 5 tips and techniques to utilize to get more done in your life when you're not feeling very motivated or don't have much energy. So I just dropped my 5 kids off at school for the day, and I've got an entire list of cleaning and homemaking tasks that I need to accomplish while they're there. And I have to admit, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm having one of those days. I want to be laying in bed and reading a book. I've got low motivation, very low energy. You can probably hear in my voice. I even have a slight cold. But today is the day that I have set aside to get these things done. I know I'll feel better once they're accomplished, and so I need to just pull myself up by the bootstraps and go for it. And I thought it would be interesting to share some of the different techniques that I use, some of the tips that I use to get myself motivated even when it's not coming naturally. So I've got my Namaste shirt on, and I'm hoping that gives me some peace and Zen vibes for the day. Come along and let's get started on the day's tasks. The first tip is the most obvious one, and that is to just start. I'm going to begin my day by making my bed, which is something I do routinely every single day. Normally I would have had it done before the kids went to school, but again, I am dragging today, and so I was a little bit slower going, and I need to give myself some grace in realizing that it's okay to take a little bit more slow approach to the day. But I know that for me, once my bed is made, it's kind of a clear signal to my brain that, all right, the day has started and you can tackle other things. A lot of us, we all probably know that the most difficult part of any project or habit is really the beginning. It's taking that first little step to start. And sometimes we might even need to bribe ourselves or get ourselves pumped up to even begin. And today is one of those days for me. So I suggest to get your 5 senses really engaged and set the mood for what you're about to do. Put on some inspirational music. Maybe that is a classical guitar soundtrack or some really music that can really pump you up and get you excited. And also, I like to light a candle. You could spritz your favorite scent in the air just to, kind of get that fresh feeling going. And I also would suggest getting your favorite snack and drink and setting it aside so that you can revisit it throughout the day, throughout the process that you're working on, and just to have that little treat throughout. You are likely to notice that once you get going, you will be encouraged to keep on going, and one thing will lead to another. My second tip is to listen to and or watch others who are being productive. There is some sort of accountability that comes along with it, even if you don't know the people who you are watching. You have this sort of subconscious thought that if they can get themselves going and pick themselves up to get some things done, then I can too. And that's sort of what I like to do a lot of the times when I am cleaning or organizing. You'll see me with these wireless headphones on. I prefer those over earbuds. People have commented on that, but I do prefer the over-the-ear headphones. And I really just kind of put my mind away from the task at hand, and it helps it to be more enjoyable for me. I have found that bundling things that you enjoy with some things that you don't enjoy as much really helps to make the time go faster, helps you to be more productive. I really like this tip, especially when I am doing something that I really dislike, such as cleaning the bathrooms. That has to be my least favorite chore, my least favorite thing to tackle, and putting on some sort of motivational YouTube video or podcast or audiobook that can really take my mind away from where I'm actually at. That really does help and keep me motivated. So this is something I definitely suggest you try if you are lacking motivation. Tip number 3 is to give your future self a break. It's true that we a lot of times we're willing to spend time and do things for other people that we're not willing to give to ourselves. So we might volunteer and give a lot of our time to a cause, but then we sacrifice that time from ourselves and being able to do the things that we need to do or that we want to do. And there's just some sort of selflessness about people in general that just really, they prefer to help others before they help themselves. I'm not really sure what that is, what the psychology is behind that. But for this tip, what I like to do is to trick my brain actually into thinking about future me. Now I know it's still me that I am benefiting, but thinking about future me and how she will appreciate what I have done for her, and easing her load, making her life a little bit easier. It's just something about it is just easier for me to manage. And so, for example, tonight we have a very busy night of activities, basketball games. I know that we're not going to get home until later in the evening, and future me would be very stressed out by having to cook a meal, get supper on the table. And so I am going to, for her, go ahead and make the supper ahead of time, put it in the crock pot so that it's ready when we get home from those basketball games. And that is going to really relieve a lot of pressure. It's going to make sure and ensure that we don't go for fast food because I'm too tired to make a meal later on tonight. And it's really going to benefit later on in the day. So if you can sort of do this self-love and recognize that the future you deserves this to be done, even simple things like setting out your clothes the night before or doing a nightly reset so you can wake up to a tidied house, anything that you can do to give your future self a break is definitely going to give you motivation. The fourth technique that I like to utilize is to break the tasks you have into smaller bite-sized pieces. It seems to be easier to attack them when they're not so overwhelming. And really for us, this has been a lifestyle shift that we've made when we've switched to be more minimal. We are rarely facing gigantic messes anymore. It's usually we're resetting at the end of every day, getting things tidy most of the time. But again, there are times when a room will need a little bit extra love and attention, and that is when I like to break them down into smaller bits. I usually will write some sort of to-do list. It gives me a sense of accomplishment when I can check them off. But like I said earlier, once you take that first step and get started, you're going to find that you can just take one small step at a time, one step in front of the other. For myself, today I started vacuuming the rug in the living room, and then I remembered that the kitchen rug could also use a good vacuum. And while the vacuum was out, I thought I might as well bring it upstairs to tackle the girls' room rug as well. If you remember recently, I did a video about how we rearranged our girls' room to better meet their needs, and they are absolutely loving it. It is functioning so well for them. They love the extra play space in the middle of the room, and they also have been loving this table. As you can see, they've got their Lego friends all set up, and they have an entire city village going here. They play with it every single evening, and normally I would have them put away their toys and reset at the end of the evening, but Legos are one of those things that are kind of difficult to put away and take back out, especially if you have a creation that you're playing with, and so we are leaving those out, and I'm totally okay with that. And the fifth and final tip on my list today for how to stay motivated for cleaning and homemaking tasks when you don't have a lot of energy is to allow yourself small timeouts in the action. It can be tempting to just keep going and working and plodding along throughout the day and thinking that the longer you're working, the more minutes that you're working, the more you're going to get done. But we need to remember that there is such a thing as burnout, and if we push ourselves too hard, we're going to be too tired to finish up what we needed to do. What I like to do is kind of play a game of it. If I have this entire to-do list, if I look at it as one big clump of things that need to get done all in succession, it can be super overwhelming. But if I look at just one piece of that list and I tell myself, once I finish this task, I'm going to take a 10 or 15-minute break, it's a lot more manageable for me to handle. And I do like to set a timer for myself because I know that if I sit too long without any sort of reminder, I might get tempted to just stay in that comfortable position. As they say, a body in motion stays in motion, a body in rest will stay in rest. So I like to set the timer to remind myself to get up and get going again. But again, when I'm taking those steps, if I know I have these breaks coming, it's going to kind of refresh me and keep me motivated to keep going. Don't let that burnout hit you and make you less productive than you could be. Take those breaks, take those rests, and you will see you'll get a lot more accomplished. Well, I'm actually feeling very pleased with everything I was able to accomplish today, especially considering the slow start to the morning and my lack of motivation and energy. By using these 5 tips, I was able to pull myself together and actually make some momentum and get some things accomplished. And now looking back, I'm very, very thankful that I did that instead of laying in bed, even though that was very tempting at the time. I hope that these tips can help you if you are low on energy, lacking motivation, and help you just take that first step to get started. And I think that you'll be surprised at how much you as well can accomplish. I also want to say at the end of this video how motivational that you all are to me. This channel just recently hit 10,000 subscribers. And that is just amazing to me. That blows my mind that there's that many people that are coming back to this channel and watching me and listening to me and hopefully learning from me. I promised that when I hit that metric, I would have a special video and also a giveaway. And so I will be doing that either this coming week or the week after. So if you are someone who is interested in that, definitely make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, and also tap that notification bell so that you can know when those videos come out, because you're not going to want to miss that giveaway. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.